to Latino Talk TV, and folks, we got a great group here. We are going to be speaking with the Carnalismo Brown Berets of Houston.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Sir.
A group very active here in the Houston area, and it's great to have them. I was just able to, we crossed paths a few weeks back, and the more I hear about the Brown Berets, they do a lot of good work out there in the community, so we wanted to get them on the show. We're lucky to have Liz Lozano, Mr. Chris Quiroz, Mr. Willie Rodriguez.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to wait him until the end here because I
Okay.
love his name. Dalea Lugo. Dalea, thank you for being with us. And my Aztec brother here, Milentica, which is an Aztec name. I dig that. I love that. So it's great having you folks. And I guess we'll ask, why don't you give us a little history of the Brown Berets, people who don't know what the Brown Berets is all about.
Willie? Okay. Yeah, Brown Beret Carnalismo been around since, been active in Texas since 63, between 63 and 65 is when they originated. It was actually some brothers, some Chicano brothers that banded together during the Vietnam War. You know, they brought the Carnalismo here to Texas, and from there, that's where we started.
Where didn't it start on the West Coast? Is
No,
that right?
well, we're a different organization from what you're speaking of, La Causa.
Oh,
Brown
okay.
Berets. We're a totally different organization. We were a different patch.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, our origins is in Vietnam. You know, Texas. We're a Texas Brown Beret organization.
Great.
Though we do have other organizations, we spread out. New Mexico, Colorado, and Califas,
Yeah.
Texas. So we're getting out there. That's basically our history.
Well, good.
Yeah,
Well, tell
over
us.
40.
So, what are the Brown Berets? What are they doing today? Give us some of the things you guys are working on.
Well, currently we've worked on the Save Second Ward project, which is to assist the homeowners and residents of Second Ward who are battling the gentrification of the neighborhood. They feel that they have been harassed by area developers to sell their homes. So we're standing up and supporting them, inviting them to meetings, town hall meetings, doing protests in the neighborhood, and doing anything that we can. The saddest thing that I had was a about 87-year-old woman who lived near City Gas Park. She came to a meeting one day and she says, "They want me to sell. I don't want to sell." She'd lived in her home 65 years. She says, "They built all around me. Everywhere there's these 3-story houses. I used to be able to watch the fireworks from my front porch. I can't see them anymore." She says, "They want me to sell." She says, "I don't want to sell my home. I want to stay there until my time comes," with tears in her eyes. That's the hardest thing, is that these people shouldn't have to be pressured to sell. Once you tell someone no the first time, that should be it.
And when she said she was being pressured, what all did that include?
They are receiving multiple phone calls. They get door hangers on their door from different developers. There's our notes, letters in the mail requesting and giving them offers for sale. And to add insult to injury, they're giving them deadlines. You need to respond to this request or this offer to buy your home by such and such date. They don't want to sell. They've already told these people they don't want to sell. They don't need anybody coming and knocking on their door. And that's the bad thing, is that the city of Houston is not recognizing that the Second Ward area, particularly the area behind the Guadalupe Catholic Church, has great history. It used to be right behind Guadalupe, in that little neighborhood, used to be called Bles. I believe the first home was erected, if I'm correct, it was mid-1800s. Okay? So you have all this history. You have St. Vincent Cemetery right next door to Guadalupe. You have another little church that's been there for also 100 years or more. Houses that people have received and have been handed down generation to generation from father to grandson to great grandson. So you're getting your home from a great grandparent, some even great great grandparents, and they're trying to take their homes. Why? Because they want to put 3-bedroom condominiums and townhouses there so they can make money. They're offering,
it's all about the money.
yes, they're offering to sell these condos and townhouses for $300,000 to $500,000, yet only offering the residents $80,000 on average for their property. That is an insult. It's disgusting that they would do this to these people because on each lot they want to do multiple units.
Right.
And these people, where are they supposed to go? They lived there all their lives. Let them enjoy their golden years. Why should our elderly be harassed into moving out?
The deck stacked against us. That's why their work is so important. What other projects are you guys working on?
Well,
you working on something else?
we are also, this includes Safe Second Ward, is we are hoping on creating the Second Ward area as a historical area, not just on the state level, also on the national level. There are so many points of interest. We have old cemeteries, old buildings, churches, homes. I think it would be great to have it as a historic district. We saw a double-decker bus over this weekend coming down Navigation. So they are doing tours in the area. So if the tours are there, then let the neighborhood benefit from this. Maybe these people can turn around and use this to benefit themselves and their families if we have it in the historic area. You get a house that's built in the mid-1800s or earlier, perhaps there's a way for that family to get it to where they don't have to sell. Maybe the state can turn around and take it over once those families are gone.
Well, it's what is so kind of strange is that this neighborhood, Second Ward, does have a potential to have their bit of tourism. The community can benefit from it, from the local eateries to the church, because there are plenty of community events that are going on around the neighborhood. And talk about Ute Park, they should be using most of the TIERS money, or municipalities should be able to have access through Kennedy. So all that money should be going to that, and the Kennedy Road should be a public road and not a private road.
Now, Kennedy Road is that street along the bayou?
Yes, it is. It's currently being blocked off by the developers in the area. It is a public street. It has a City of Houston public sign on there. There are no signage anywhere in the area that says this is a private street. Residents cannot go down that street. EMS, fire department, police, constables cannot go down that street or any of the streets nearby it because they continuously block it off.
They block it with, I saw the big concrete
they're big
barricades
concrete
there.
barriers. That's endangering the residents of the neighborhood.
Yeah.
If they want to barricade something, they need to barricade the area where they're excavating because children can go over there and get hurt. Fire marshal.
I heard about that, Liz. All of a sudden, they said overnight they put these
Yes.
concrete barriers there.
Yes.
And I know my good friend over at Doña Maria,
Juan Hernandez. Yes.
told me that he complained and that they removed them. But now they're back.
Yes, and what we need the community's help, whether they're in Second Ward, excuse me, or not, to voice their opinion on that because you're endangering a whole community. If somebody's house is on fire and the closest way to get to them is through Kennedy Street from Jensen, then we need those roads unblocked. A house could be on fire, somebody could be having a heart attack, a child could be injured. There is no good reason for that street to be blocked.
And this is that road right on the corner, right next to the bio, right on the corner where Catholic Charities, right across the street from TBA.
Yes.
I've seen that road because
They want a free private street.
Yeah, I would take that and go to Doña Maria all the time.
Yes.
Take the back street over there. Take the right there.
That's a great way. The residents that live immediately on that area, on Live Oak and Kennedy, we have one gentleman, Mr. Albert Martinez, who's being harassed. They are excavating so close to his backyard, his back fence, that all it's going to take is one good rain, like we had a couple of months ago, and he'll probably lose that fence line because it's that close. If they want to be neighbors with the rest of the community, that's fine, but be good neighbors. What are you bringing to the neighborhood? Don't just take from us.
That's right.
They need to give back.
That's right.
Has anyone got to Ed Gonzalez yet? Because she's the city councilman there.
We've spoken to Ed Gonzalez, and his favorite reply has always been, but they have the right permits. Maybe we need someone in city council and as our mayor that's going to support the community.
What about your
Well, it's a good
state
point.
rep?
Our state representative as well. We'll go as high as we can.
Yeah.
See, I think I have to say about Ed Gonzalez, I mean, he may be a good man, but then, I mean, I've had him on Twitter say a couple of things that, stating that the road that is Kennedy is saying it's a private road. They have a right to close it off. But then I'm going like, what? That's not what I'm hearing from other individuals who have proof, such as from Carlos Cabillo and Albert Martinez, having proof that no, it's not, from the railroad. But they want to go ahead and take our tax dollars and make it a private road.
I don't understand how they're saying this is a private road. That road has been open there for years.
I'm not certain, I guess, because they need to use the street and they have so much money, because it's Perry Homes, Padua Realty, that are the two main developers in that particular street, in that area. We also have Urban Living and a few other smaller ones in the neighborhood as well. But Perry Homes and Padua Realty are the two main players. Thankfully, Mr. Padua did come to our town hall meeting and he spoke, and we're hoping to get a hold of him sometime very soon to see what he's going to bring back to the neighborhood. Perry Homes, we have yet to speak to a representative of them.
Wow.
But Elizabeth, also, isn't it a big concern that with the bayou right there, that there aren't any railings alongside that bayou?
Yes.
That anyone could, or a child or whatever, can be
Yes.
pushed over, or something could happen or whatever.
Somebody can ride their
Yep.
dirt bike in that
And
excavation site,
especially
and it
security.
can tumble into the bayou.
My main concern about this community, why isn't there a storefront within this community? Because you're going to have that along the way. It's going to add more problems, Things are going to come around. You have Butte Park that needs to be protected, and so does the community.
Okay, we have another caller.
Got another caller.
Jose.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Saludos a los Brown Berets, man. You guys
Salute,
are doing an
brother.
awesome job out
Hey.
there. This is Jose Vega, proud to be
Hello.
Tejano. I am disgusted by the lack of support that these people are getting, okay? And this isn't supposed to be an Adrian Garcia thing. This isn't supposed to be a Robert Chavez thing. This isn't supposed to be a Ed Gonzalez thing. This should be a bipartisan movement to save these people's homes. And I myself am disgusted by myself, the lack of support that I've been giving them. But you know what? When it comes down to it, we need to unite with them. We need to help them out. We need to do all we can to support this. And I just got to give it out to them. The Brown Berets are doing an awesome job. When no one else stepped up to the plate, they did. And it's about time that we have someone that will do it. So I'm here for you guys. Proud to be Tejanos, here to support. Like I said, should be a bipartisan movement or a nonpartisan movement. Do not mention politicians when it comes down to it, because they're only going to show up when it comes down to where they're running for either city council or city mayor or Senate or representative. That's the only time they're going to show up. Okay? So don't count on them. We need to do this on our own. We got to do this on our own. I'm here to support you guys and this stuff. It's time for me to step up to the plate. Okay? And that's all I got to say. A big shout out to the Brown Berets. You guys are doing an awesome job. Elizabeth Lozano, you are the new voice. Big shout out to you. You got a big heart.
Thank
and
you.
You're going to take this to a whole different level. Okay?
Good deal.
Thank you, Jose.
Javier, thank you for having him there.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for calling in. I tell you, man, you guys got a lot of work ahead of you. That's for sure.
That's what we're here for, man.
Okay.
That's what we're here for. We took that oath. We took that oath, man. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Well, the
not-
good
we're
thing
not afraid
is
of
that
work.
you guys are doing this work peacefully,
Yes.
and when you're doing that, we should be able to get a lot more of our community behind you
Yes.
Right.
to approach that. The last thing we want is any violence, right, related to that or anything else. But what you guys are doing it, you're doing it right, and I applaud your efforts. Les doy las
Appreciate that.
gracias a todos. Porque es importante. Nuestros ancianos necesitan el apoyo de la juventud, and that's what you
Yes.
guys represent.
Yes.
That's right.
Someone did it for us
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's what we're here.
generations ago, and it's time for us to stand up for our elders and for our next generation so they can have a place to call home and not just a townhome. Place with a yard with naranjos, with all kinds of fruit trees, flowers and stuff. You know, these new townhomes, that's what really makes me mad. Where are you going to plant a garden? My abuelita had a garden. She had ciruelos y nopales y and frutas y rosas por donde quiera. These are things that the children need to grow up.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have to be put in a car,
Yeah.
packed a lunch, then driven across town to go and enjoy some
it's
green
really sad
space.
because I remember especially the Blessed neighborhood.
Yes.
I remember, I went to school at Aledo Guadalupe. I tell you what, my grandfather was one of the original. What would you call it? He would make during the Prohibition. He was
bootlegger.
He was bootlegger. Yeah, he was bootlegger. And they tell me that he would make his own tequila and beer. And they said the neighbors said that they would always know that it was done when it's in the middle of the night. You'd hear, "Viva la revolución!" They said they knew it was ready. They knew it was ready.
Nice.
Your grandfather?
But, that was my grandfather,
Wow,
John
man.
Pettis. John
Nice.
Pettis
Wow.
Sr.
Nice.
And I tell you, he loved the neighborhood. He ended up in Houston back in the 20s and never went back to Mexico. He said this was his home. He loved it here. Raised his family here. So we still own the house that he owned.
Nice.
Wow.
So it's Second Ward is almost like a small town.
Yes.
I mean, everybody knows each other in Second Ward. You know, I mean, it's great just to go out. I mean, you see them at a restaurant. No, hombre, todos se conocen.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it's and I'm afraid that we're losing that. We're losing that.
We're losing it in all the barrios, and that's the thing about the Brown Berets. Today we're in Second Ward. Next week we might be in Denver Harbor, in North Side. We might be any other part of town. Right now, Safe Second Ward has asked for our help. That's what we're doing. For the people that can't get up and stand up for themselves, defend themselves against these tyrants, these bullies, and be a voice, we're here to help them as much as we can do. Only because we owe it to them. Because of these people, these elders, they stood up for us at one time. Now it's time for somebody to stand up for them.
I tell you, and if people want more information about the Brown Berets, what is there a website or how can they do that?
You can visit our Brown Beret page on Facebook at the Houston Brown Berets.
Okay.
You can also email us at cnbbhtx.com. On gmail.com.
Okay.
And just send us a message,
There a
and
phone number?
we're around. Yes, 832-525-3549.
No tenga miedo.
Is that your number?
You get all these calls.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. No crank calls, please, because I will call you back.
I think people see the seriousness of this matter, and I pray nobody's going to be calling you with prank calls. I think what we do want, though, is a lot of people calling you that want to support you, and that this whole movement, continue to grow, because that's what it's going to take in order to make a difference on this problem, because this problem is going to continue to grow unless we stop it. Y se va a tomar a todos juntos.
Yes.
Because I have to say, because I'm not an official Brown Beret, I'm just, I work with them, and they've been doing a whole lot of stuff, and I mean, I'm always happy to help them, and they're doing so much within that area and a whole lot, throughout Houston and everywhere. Yeah. And it's very great for them to show so much, heart and everything, whatever they do.
And it's really sad because those are, of course, in the Heights, there used to be a big Latino area.
Yes.
And I have a friend of mine that is in construction, and he told me, man, my buddy told me, he goes, you know what? I spent all my life trying to get out of the Heights. Now I can't afford to get back in.
Wow.
And that's true.
It's
and that's
true.
what's going to happen in
Yes.
the Second Ward if we don't.
Yes.
Brown Beret Chris is
get
still a
this
resident of
space
the
on.
Heights.
Yeah, that's the thing is that it shouldn't come to how much money you have. It should be, if somebody has their home, you don't want to sell. You wouldn't go and make somebody else sell their car if they didn't want
That's
to.
right, exactly
You wouldn't continuously knock on their door just because these people don't have as much money as others. Doesn't mean they can be bullied. And we're going to stand up for them.
Well, great.
Sí se puede.
That's
I think
it.
we're running out of time.
We're running out of time, guys. It was a great show today. We're going to make sure we bring you guys back. Everything got something going, please come back and let us know. And we'll see you next week live on HMS TV here, Latino Talk TV. Thank you. And thank TBH, our new sponsor. Thank you for being there, and we'll see you next week.